You know, that's really putting up a tall order, you know? I mean, how do you know that, the other studios haven't actually tried? I mean, have they? Have they? Let me just back up for here a sec. Yes! We're actually gonna do this. I know I'm probably committing YouTube suicide right now, but screw it. I'm just like, I really want to, I really want to throw in my 2 cents here. Mainly because, you know, I honestly do consider this a tragedy. I have my points to throw in there. Let's just say, before people start thinking, oh, this guy's a total conservative, a total race traitor, or oh, this guy's actually going to defend. Let me just tell you this: I'm centrist, meaning that in some situations I am totally on the right side of the aisle. I go Republican, and on some instances I go Democrat. I go toward the left side. I basically I consider myself libertarian, which basically means, screw the government. Those assholes have no idea what the hell they're doing. Like, for all I care, monkeys could be running this country and we'd still be fine. Why? I don't know, dude. Basically, yeah, that's what I see. That's what I see Congress. That's the way I see the government. Just a bunch of monkeys just throwing feces at each other and somehow getting paid for it. Like, just a bunch of clowns. But whatever, let's get involved in politics, let's be woke. You know what? Screw that. You know what? I'm here to talk about High Guardian Spice, which is basically an original animated series sponsored by Crunchyroll, and I'm just thinking, well, alright, well, that's good. I mean, we've had Ruby, we've had things that were originally American that managed to parade themselves as anime, and it's actually pretty decent, I mean, it's been so good that, Ruby has actually been dubbed in Japanese. I was surprised that, yeah, the Japanese actually liked it so much to the point that they actually put it in their own language. I'm just like, okay, that's good. That's real good. But this, I'm sorry, but you know what? Let's just go ahead. I have my points, but first, let's actually react to the trailer. And, I'm going to pause it every time I have something to say. And I have coherent thoughts, but let's put it after this.
One of the things that really attracted me to the position was the opportunity to do traditional hand-drawn 2D animation. Not only do I get to go back to the art form that I truly love, but I also get to create a studio from scratch.
Okay, so basically she's starting out. For those of you who don't know who Margaret Dean is, she basically did the What's New Scooby-Doo series, as well as the direct-to-DVD, the direct-to-videos, the movies. And, I gotta go ahead and say this, I definitely enjoyed those films, and, yeah, that just adds more to the tragedy of this. Now, let's get going.
High Guardian Spice is about 4 girls who live in a magical city and are going to school to become guardian.
Okay, so it's basically like, Ruby. Or, Little Witch Academia, or basically a lot of other shows, actually. So, okay, maybe they have a twist to this. I don't know. But let's keep going.
It's funny, and it's warm, and it's adventurous, and they're letting us make it a little bit weird.
That's good. I like weird. Weird is what I am. Weird is what I do. Just look in my room. It's a mess. I'm pretty much... Wait, what's a hot mess? What is considered a hot mess? I have no idea.
Oh, that's very exciting. There's an authenticity to it and a sincerity that's just heartwarming. It's a very modern reflection of the world. Our characters are really diverse. Our cast is really diverse, and that's...
Okay. I know, okay, I probably should not have paused it there, because now you have to look at her more, and I know a lot of people don't want to look at her, especially with this smile, but, yeah, okay, diverse. Okay, what is diverse? In my opinion, I have an opinion of my own definition. I have no idea what their definition is, but let's keep going on. Keep that word in mind.
one of the things that excited me the most about it. People are really excited
What was up with that character?
about what the show is and what it represents.
The fact that Crunchyroll Originals is doing this as a 2D animated series is giving us an opportunity to do things artistically that a lot of other shows and other studios really have forgotten how to do.
I mean, I've seen a couple of Disney shows like DuckTales and Star vs. the Force of Evil. Last time I checked, those things are basically a hybrid combination of traditional hand-drawn animation and computer animation. So, I don't know what you're going at, but okay, I mean, okay, let's see where it goes.
We are 50% female in all the creative roles, and our writer's room is 100% female.
Whoa. Okay, this is where we go. Here we go. This is the part where a bunch of people got triggered. Okay, I have seen diversity, and this is not diversity. Alright? If you're going by diversity of gender, then yeah, maybe 50%, 50% in every creative roles is good. But if you're going for 100% female in the writing department, okay, that's where you're really gonna hit a snag, because that basically means, if I'm doing the math correctly, that basically means that all the animation is being done by dudes. Which, when you think about it, if a guy has like something he wants to add, you know, like something that really adds an idea, or maybe brings up a problem that maybe it's actually a legitimate problem, but nobody listens to it, or maybe they completely reject the dude. I'm pretty sure that guy can just retaliate with adding a dildo somewhere in the background. Look, and then once it actually airs and no one catches it, everyone's gonna be like, look, there's a freaking dildo in the show, and it's like, okay, what the hell just happened? So who did this? Who had it? And the guy's just gonna be like, it was me. I'm gonna walk out. I know, I'm fired, but you know what? It's already been turned into a meme. It's already everywhere. People already know about it. You know, it's like, I feel like you're setting yourselves up for a disaster in that case, you know? It's like, has no one actually thought of the consequences? Did they just assume that dudes would just be... You guys say it yourselves, dudes are assholes, so why have a drawing studio full of just dudes? Or better yet, why not include at least one guy to be the voice of reason somewhere in all of this? Or at the very least, a counter view. Alright, I got more to explain about this, but let's get going on.
I mean, this is what my whole career has been about, is trying to get those voices in there that are not being heard.
Oh my goodness, Margaret Dean, I feel so sorry for you, madam. I feel so sorry. Okay, let me hold you accountable for this. Let me just put it right here. That way we can see. And let's zoom out. Okay! This is where I have to put in my 2 cents. I actually wrote a script for once. So let's go. Okay, 3 things. That's all I need to say about this. Okay. First off, they threw in the word diversity. Now they have to pay the consequences for it. 50% 50-50 on the creative roles. That's kind of a good thing in terms of gender. That's a good thing. But when you say that your entire writing staff is just nothing but women, like I said, that's not exactly a good thing, because you gotta at least have the viewpoint of a guy in somewhere, because believe it or not, sometimes guys actually do bring up a good point. And I think that's basically... I'm not saying that this is pointed towards guys, not necessarily. I don't think that this looks like a show that was meant for men, but considering the fact that you could potentially attract other viewers that might be men, it's like, I think it's a good idea to expand your viewership to, I'm not saying cater towards everyone. Not everyone is going to be happy. But if you can get the largest audience possible, especially considering that you do have a very diverse audience, yeah, then it's probably a good idea to at the very least have one guy in the writing room. You know, even if it is a gay guy. I have nothing against gays. Now here's the thing I've noticed. I've only heard one Hispanic last name and all that, and absolutely no other last names of any other nationality, of any other language, of any other ethnicity in there. In other words, it's just a bunch of white chicks. And let me tell you, there's a lot more people that watch anime than just white women. Like Mexican guys, for example, Asian guys, black chicks, black guys. You know, it's like if you've ever been to an anime convention or a Vocaloid concert, then you would know that basically it is an entire melting pot in there. Now, let me tell you, the entire writing staff of High Guardian Spice looks like a women's soccer team in high school. Now, why do I say that? Well, let me give you a little bit of story. Now, I used to go to 2 high schools, both within the same area, but basically I had to transfer over because my family was constantly moving. But let me tell you, in both high schools, the girls' soccer team was composed almost completely of white chicks. Like, seriously. Now, and whereas the guys' soccer team, almost all of them were Mexican guys. Almost completely Mexican. Now there were a couple of exceptions to that stereotype, but let's just say it's a bit of what they call the de facto segregation. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, there's 2 types of segregation: de justo and de facto. The justo basically means that it is done by law. We're talking Jim Crow era types laws, where basically it is explicitly said in the books that people of a certain race or of a certain gender cannot go and cannot do certain things. One example of this is, of course, the Justo law of bathroom segregation. Of course, that's sort of being cut out right now because you know, what about the transgenders? And I'm like, okay, we'll have a separate bathroom for them, or until then they can use the bathroom that they use. But that's still a type of de justo segregation. De facto segregation is something that maybe isn't explicitly written in the books, but it is still a type of segregation by terms of culture or practice, or simply something that is implied, or maybe something that is put in as a taboo, like the idea of putting a golden retriever in a high school basketball team. All the rulebooks say is that even though that the person doesn't have to be from the same school, just so long as they have attended every single practice and every single game up till that point, and basically is under the age of 18. And it never explicitly states that a dog cannot play basketball for a high school team. Never in the books, and that's why we have Airbud. So yeah, that's yeah. Whereas in this case, it seems like it is like the justo segregation. Now let me tell you this: there are a couple of nuggets where it is completely where in my high school where there is a lot of diversity, mostly in my school's football team. Why? Because for some reason football happens to be the one sport that isn't happens to be one of the few sports out there, aside from track and field and stuff, where basically that is where all the races sort of mix. We even almost had a chick join the team, but their mom didn't let her. But the fact is, we were the only thing we were questioning really was she going to be good? Was she going to be a good football player? Was she going to play quarterback? Was she going to play wide receiver? If she was going to if she was going to be a line person, was she going to, how did we grab her? Because this was pre-Me Too, but we still had that idea. In other words, we were willing to accept the idea of a woman playing football. It's not unheard of. It's like it has happened before. We were willing to make accommodations. We were willing to actually let that happen. I mean, after all, there are guys in the cheerleading team. Why not girls in the football team? We're not completely foreign. You'd think that a bunch of football players would just be a bunch of sexist cucks, but no, we actually were accepting. We were actually willing. We were actually thrilled at the idea. As for dating, we pretty much made a purity pact in the sense that we weren't going to approach her directly. She would have to approach us. We basically made it so that, totally up to her. She could date whoever we want, but we could not approach her. We could not make the first move. So, yeah. And the anime community, well, you have almost every single person being represented. We're talking Mexicans, blacks, Asians, whites, straight males, straight females, gays, lesbians, transgenders, attack helicopters even. Yeah, I'm surprised too. But yeah, basically it's a pretty diverse, and unfortunately this is not diversity. If anything, it's pretty much the justo segregation. It is the justo segregation because it seems like they purposely did it this way, which pretty much leaves a bad taste in my mouth. You know, when a high school football team has more diversity than you kind of have a problem there. Okay, now let's say I go with the staff. Now, let's forget the fact that it looks like all of them fit the SJW stereotype. We're talking corny glasses because, people need glasses and sometimes people like to express themselves that way. And forget the whole candy-colored hair. Trust me, I've seen conservatives with purple hair and look like they're unicorns, alright? Like, I've seen them all the time in McDonald's. Like, seriously, there was some purple-haired old lady that actually said she voted for Trump, and she was wondering, why is there a Mexican giving me a Big Mac? She, of course, said it jokingly, but, it's still there! But, yeah. So, yeah, let's actually start with perhaps what I think is a good thing that is in here. Margaret Dean, like I said, she did the What's New Scooby-Doo TV series as well as the direct-to-DVD movies, and I enjoyed those. And whenever she says that she feels like this studio is gonna have heart and stuff, I feel like she genuinely believes it. I feel like she's genuinely in it because she wants to do something creative. But then we have Kate Leth. Now, I'm pretty sure we all know who she is by now. She said a bunch of mean tweets about a couple of dudes that maybe she doesn't like. Like for example, apparently she likes dogs better than dudes. Well, if that's the case, then what about dudes that have dogs? Because I have a dog. He's a pretty cool boy. Ain't that right, boy? Nah, he's sleeping. It's late at night. I probably should be taking to go into sleep too. But yeah, let's just say, from what I can tell, from the vibes I get from all the other members of the staff, it seems like they kind of have it out against guys for some reason or another. I should probably move it a little because I was about to use this right now. Anyways, that's like the third staff. It looks like only half of the staff is actually doing this because they want to do something creative. And this is where we head into my third point. The real tragedy of all of this is that I have no idea what the hell this show's about. Like, seriously, look, let's actually zoom in. Let's actually go into the cover art. Let's actually see what this is all about. Okay, looks like we have what looks like a show done in the what a lot of people are calling the Cal Arts art style, even though technically it's not really a Cal Arts style because Cal Arts doesn't really have a defined style. I mean, we are after all talking about the same people that gave us Pixar, so I highly doubt that's the case. But here's the thing. Tell me, can you exactly describe what these characters are all about? Like, let's start with what's this female character about? It looks like, we got a sword, so it looks like she might be the leader and such. We got a bow, we got a dress, so she looks like the girly type. This one looks like a witch. She's carrying a book. She might be the smart type. This one looks like the crafty type. And here's the one question. This one's raising me a lot of question. Why is she into this? Is she supposed to be like the villain? Does she have a dark side? Is she just Tsundere reserves or something? What the heck is going on in all of this? Like, what is going on here? Like, I have no idea who any of these characters are. I want to be invested. I want to actually, care about these people. But you're not giving me any good reason to do so. I don't even know what the story is about. I don't know if there's any conflict. I don't know if there's no conflict, and this is a slice of life. I don't know if there's like a certain process going on. Like I don't know what if there's like if there really is diversity. Is there like supposed to be a certain type? What time period is this taking place? There's so many questions, and they give me jack squat when it comes to answers. No, I'm not jack squat. I'm Jack Penaloza, and I want answers to the questions I have, and you're not giving me anything. Instead, you're just giving me the same SJW bull crap that a lot of people that I could have gotten from any other source. That's just it. That's what it comes down to. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's good or not. All it cares about is that it pertains to a certain message. No, screw that. I don't want to listen to any messages. You want to know why I watch anime? You want to know why I decide to just pop in Initial D? You want to know why I watch Ghost in the Shell? It's not because of the deep messages. There's no deep message when it comes to Initial D other than just actually love your cars and love it because it is something that you use and that you should take care of your things. That is the only message when it comes to Initial D. But when it comes to anything else, the only reason why I'm watching anime is because I want to escape from real life for a moment. Why? Because my dad is constantly putting me into work, even though I don't want to work with him because, we are not compatible. Like, he works a certain way, I work a certain way, and we cannot do that. He gets pissed off every time I work a different way. Alright? Sometimes I'm dealing with a client at McDonald's and I just want to forget about it, and I just want to, like, as soon as I get home, I just want to sit in my computer, pop in a couple of shrimps, fry them, maybe order something from freaking Domino's, scratch my dog right next to me, scratch his little pet head pats because he deserves his head pats for not pooping inside the house because we consider that a victory, and just watch some anime before I have to go to the kitchen, cook up something for dinner, and then go back to it as soon as it's done, and do that until it becomes too late and I have to go to sleep to go back to a freaking hellish McDonald's. Well, I'm no longer working at McDonald's, I'm working at Domino's, but you get the idea. I'm using this as an escape. And you know what doesn't help with escapism? Modern day politics, which of course, people have to bring it up 24/7. Do you want to know why I watch anime? Because I want to get away from American politics. At least I know in anime, if they're going to talk about politics, it's going to be about politics that is not relevant to the freaking US of A. Alright, I'm sick and tired of people complaining about Trump. He's only gonna be there for 6 more years? 2, if we're lucky? I honestly, I'm willing to wait it out. Mexicans are gonna be here for a long time. Alright? Blacks are still making progress. Muslims are probably gonna have it easier in a couple of years as soon as we progress. At the very least, gays get to marry now. So, what gives? Let's just chill. Let's just freaking chill and watch a show. Let's just watch a show for the sake of it being good, not because it has politics. And you want to know why? You know what? And that's pretty much been the thing in almost everything. Look at Battlefield 5 for freak's sake. It's like they pushed an SJW agenda first instead of making a good game. That's the reason why suddenly people are latching on to Black Ops 4 in Call of Duty. Because they don't want... Because freaking DICE, because freaking EA doesn't want to make a good game. They just want to push something so that they can keep selling microtransactions. We can see through that crap! We can see through it! We know what they're doing! Alright? That's the same thing with her. Look, you can't now, before you say, so you want nothing to be political? No, not necessarily. Because let's look at, say, something like Steven Universe, for example, which is basically made by Rebecca Sugar. Another SJW, but at the very least she knows to put good story, to put entertainment at the forefront, instead of politics. You can watch Steven Universe and have, and be a complete right-winger and still like it. Why? Because it, at the very least, has good story. At least some of the episodes are completely neutral, and I wouldn't mind showing it to a kid to have a couple of life lessons. That's actually a show that I'm willing to watch. And that's a show that I'm willing to watch from start to finish. Why? Because it's actually good. I'm sorry, but either one, you had a major screw up when it came to marketing instead of actually showing us, a couple of clips from the actual series. Maybe you didn't show it because you didn't have at the moment, anything ready to create even something remotely as close as a trailer? If that case, then you probably should have waited a little bit longer until you had something. Or, you're honestly completely unconfident in your skills, you have no idea what you're trying to do, all you care about is pushing your goddamn agenda. And you know what? I'm freaking sick of it. I don't want politics. Alright? And if you wanted to push it, you could have done so. You just had to work on making something entertaining first. And you know what the consequence of that is? Well, let's look at something like, say, How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, where, now, I'm going to go ahead and say this. Yes, I have been watching that, and let me tell you this. At the very least, the female characters, which were supposed to be nothing but fan service, actually have character! And they're actually interesting! They're not just bland blocks. No, when you actually bite into it, it tastes like cheese. When you actually bite into it, it's actually flavored tofu. It's actually cake. You know, it's actually something good. You know? But instead, it seems like you guys dressed a couple of bricks and like frosting, maybe added in like a faux strawberry in there, and we can kind of tell that's not edible. Alright? It's like, I'm sick and tired of politics. That's not the reason why I come to anime. The reason I watch anime is because I want to escape for a moment, because I want to relax, because I just want to have a little bit of a passive experience, because I might want to learn, but you have to try to fool me. You're not even trying in this case. That's pretty much now for the people at Crunchyroll. I have a message for people at Crunchyroll. If you guys need to focus more on what people actually want, rather than what you think people want. Because you know what people are always going to want? Good in anime. That's all we want. And to the writing staff over at Ellation, I have a little bit of proposition to you. How about this? How about I actually write a good SJW story? How about if I do it? Someone who, that's right, a Mexican who is technically white, male, straight male, actually writes an SJW story. It actually sells well. It actually becomes good and praised, and it actually gets recognized. Then you guys have to not only make it into a show, but you also have to put me at the head of the writer's room. You can fill me up with all the women if you want. But at the end of the day, I'll have the final say. You willing to make that bet? I'm willing to make that bet. I'm willing to drop my Ready Player One fan fiction right now. If you take me up on that bet, I'm willing. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. All right. And to every single SJW out there, I only have one thing left to say. What you have done is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent were you even close. At no point in your incoherent rambling response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this country is now dumber for having listened to you. I award you no points. And may Adam Sandler have mercy on your soul, because I just freaking ripped this off from Billy Madison. That is all I have to say, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that at the very least the next video is something a little bit more positive. And until then, this is me saying, thank you for being smart. Sayonara. And I need to get some sleep.